Has anyone in your life ever suffered from addiction? Well, today I'm going to tell you what it is like to be the mother of an addict that is in full-blown crazy addiction. Welcome to SoberTube.
Hi, I'm Cathy, and I'm the mother of an addict.
So, Cathy, how did you first know that your daughter was suffering from addiction?
Well, there was a rapid change in behavior, and her grades suffered. She changed friends. Her appearance changed drastically. She started smoking cigarettes, and I would get calls all the time that she left school. Things just exploded, and her behavior was crazy, and she came home like a lunatic. And I remember we had to barricade the door to keep her from going back out. And she had been cutting herself, so we noticed that there were many cuts on her hands and arms and wrists. She actually called the police on us, which we thought was pretty funny. But so when they came and they saw all the cuts on her, they decided that she needed psychiatric services. So they took her away in an ambulance in the middle of the night, and I followed along, driving, saying, "How did we get here?"
Now, Cathy, how did you learn to cope with your daughter's disease?
I would have to say that the last rehab that she was in, when we went for Family Day, when we came out in the lobby, they had brochures of all these groups. And there was a 12-step group that caught my eye. And I wound up calling for information, and I wound up going to a meeting. And here I am 9 years later that I've been in this program, which saved my life and really kept me from drowning.
So, Cathy, tell me, how is your daughter doing now?
She's working really hard in her recovery. She has done her steps many times. She has a sponsor. She sponsors people. And we work our programs together, being that she's in her 12-step program, I'm in my 12-step program, and it gives us a language that we're able to share with each other, where we can talk about things in recovery and understand things on a different level that families wouldn't be able to do without that kind of exposure.
Cathy, any advice that you give for the mother of an addict that is out there still sick and suffering?
When you go to these 12-step programs, you're taught a better way to live, and you can really unload and feel comfortable and in a way that you've never experienced before. And it is life-changing, I assure you, and I recommend it to anybody that's suffering out there.
And Cathy, last question. Have you found peace and happiness now that you have found your own recovery?
Absolutely. I have to say that my relationship with a higher power has increased tremendously. That has helped me immensely. I have met people in my program that I call family that I never would have met had I never been subjected to this. And I will be forever grateful for those people in my life.
And Cathy, I heard that you had gotten a grandson out of your daughter and yours recovery?
Yes, I believe that he was sent to us for many reasons. I look at him as a miracle, and I love him dearly, and I would not change one thing, because he's a special person, and we love him tremendously, and we are very grateful to have him in our lives.
Well, congratulations on your recovery and your daughter's recovery, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this episode of SoberTube.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Wow, Cathy, thank you so much. That is going to be so helpful to people out there. You know, me as an addict, my famous line to my family is, "You don't know how I feel, you don't know what I'm going through," and I always felt like I was the oddball in my family. And I also felt like that in school. I always would sit in school and be like, I do not belong with these people. I've always had terminal uniqueness. I always thought that I was the most unique guy in the room, and I felt like that as an addict, that our families suffer from our disease, that our mothers sit up waiting for us at night, worrying about us, and that's something they don't get to turn off. See, we get to turn our pain off when we get high. When I, shoot a bag or sniff something or take a pill or smoke something, and it turns my pain off. Mothers don't get that. Sisters don't get that. Brothers don't get that. They are left with anxiety at all times, always wondering, what are they going to do next? What are they going to take next? Are they coming home tonight? Are they going back to jail? Do I have to get them a lawyer? Do I got to bail them out? What's going to happen? What's going on? And it never ends. And even once we're in rehab, they're just nervous that we're going to go back out. And it takes a lot more than promising our mom or our family member that we're going to get better. It really is all about the evidence of recovery. And the one thing that I got from Cathy is you don't have to suffer alone. You can go out there. There's programs for the family members of addicts. There's support groups. There's finally a place where you can walk into as a family member and be like, you guys are all going through this. And there is a way to cope, and there is a way to feel better. There's a way for me to find some sort of peace and realize that I have no control and I am powerless over their addiction. And that's just knowing that you're powerless really does give you peace inside. Cathy has gone out, found a support group, and learned how to cope with her daughter's disease. And in that, she has found peace, and she's able to sleep at night. And the good news is that Cathy's daughter, Tracy, is a friend of mine, and she has found recovery and sobriety. She has multiple years sober. She just had a son. Her son is so cool. And when I look at that kid, I look at it different than the average person does. I see her baby and I go, wow, that is a miracle. And without recovery, that baby wouldn't be here. And that is so beautiful. And I saw the bond when they came over today of just how proud Cathy was of her daughter. Recovery changes the world. Recovery has changed Cathy's world. Recovery has changed her daughter's world. And this son never has to see his mother abuse drugs or suffer from this disease, as long as Tracy can stay involved in her program of recovery. So, for the family member, there's programs for you. For the addict, there's programs for you. And the most important thing to realize as an addict is that you are not alone. And there are people just like you. You just have to find them. And it's really all about how hard are you willing to work to get what you need? How hard are you willing to work to find recovery? How hard are you willing to work to change your life? Welcome to SoberTube.